the talker is starting to bubble up a little bit more. I don't think we're there yet, but people are starting to talk more like, holy cow, what do we do if Sam Darnold is good? Did they try to keep him? Did they try to re-sign him and just say, all right, this is a good chance for JJ McCarthy to really have a good couple of years on the bench before they need to throw him in? JJ's a young guy. I think he's only 22 right now. What do you think? If the Vikings go and Sam Darnold has 4,000 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, like he's kind of on pace to do right now, wins a playoff game or two, I mean, that's a dividing decision for fans.
Well, why don't you share your pot-stirring opinion here? Because you were posting some stuff on our socials this week that got a little bit of attention.
Yeah, I did say before the Texans game, I said, hey, if Sam Darnold and the Vikings go out and beat the Texans, you really got to start thinking about this. I think...
Well, you were more specific than that. You got to start thinking about seeing what you can get for JJ McCarthy and signing Darnold to a 1 to 2 year extension.
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing, too, is we're watching the Bengals play right now. Sam Darnold is a couple of weeks younger, but he's younger than Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. And if he has proven that something has clicked and KOC and Sam Darnold have something going, maybe even more so than what KOC and Kirk Cousins had, the whole goal is to find your quarterback, and it would be tough to let a proven commodity go in the hopes of JJ McCarthy, who is proven he should be pretty good, but at that point you would theoretically know Sam Darnold is good. Maybe I overshot it by saying you trade away JJ McCarthy right now, but I think you got to think long and hard and hopefully make the right decision and keep a proven commodity, even if he's expensive, because that's a good problem to have, is an expensive quarterback who is proven to be good.
I think the biggest question mark is, and I'll answer the question in a minute and give my opinion, but I think the biggest question mark is, what would Sam Darnold be worth after a season like this? You know, if he does go on to produce a stat line like you just described, and he does lead the Vikings to, you know, some playoff success, who knows, maybe even the big one, that would be awesome.
Knock on wood.
but you got to ask yourself, what's he worth, right? Because we've had quarterbacks like that. We had Case Keenum, who came in and filled in admirably for Sam Bradford, and what happened to him? He left.
And then what happened after he left? He
didn't do anything
everywhere else.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. But the point is, like, it seemed like the Vikings had figured out something with Case Keenum, and then they let him walk. Now, it was a different general manager. It was a different head coach.
Different quarterback.
Yeah, everything's different, but I think there may have been a price tag on Case Keenum. Like, how am I trying to say this? What are we willing as an organization to pay him to keep him here? Because he just led us to an NFC Championship game, played most of the season in place of an injured Sam Bradford.
Yeah.
I think you've got to ask that question first. I think that has to be answered, and that has to be worked out between O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, and Sam Darnold. Like, hey, this is the number right here. Like, we're all in agreement. This is it. Like, if we're good, and we're going to pay you this. Mm-hmm. So with all of that as a backdrop, my answer to that question is, if the number isn't so high that you have to sell the farm and you can keep Justin Jefferson, you can keep Christian Darrisaw, who are already under contract anyways, you can keep some of your bigger names. Yeah, sure, maybe there's some attrition, maybe there's some, smaller contract guys that end up, having to get traded or get cut or whatever. Sure, that happens. It's the NFL. There's stuff like that happens all the time. But I think more than like Kirk Cousins, JJ McCarthy situation, like we were talking about, I think a Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy is a better position for the Vikings long term.
Oh yeah,
sets them up to do more of like a Green Bay Packers type of thing, where it's like, all right, we have the guy for now. We've also got the guy for later, who's just redshirting and getting this experience, watching film with the guy, going to practice, taking all these reps, maybe filling in for him every once in a while if he's a little banged up. You know, I think that's the best possible scenario. Now that's the pie in the sky. That's the, like, you know, if everything were to, you know, line up and everything worked out, then, you know, it's all good.
Yeah.
And it rarely ever works out like that in today's NFL, but I think that's where you start. You got to start with Sam Darnold's number. If he leads the Vikings to all this success this year, you start there. And if it's not so egregious, if he's like, yeah, 10 million, 15,
it wouldn't be that.
15 million, you know, I know it wouldn't.
I think the number
per year, per season.
Yeah, the number would start at what Baker Mayfield got, and I think it was something like 3 years, $100 million. So you're looking at 35-ish million a year. And if Sam Darnold goes and throws for 3,500 to 4,000 yards, 40 plus touchdowns, a playoff win or two, or, oh my goodness, we can't even say that word, the ultimate prize. If he gets the ultimate prize, you sell the farm. Then you give him 50 a year because something has worked. And you do what the Niners did with Trey Lance. Now, Trey Lance is different because he's proven to not be good, and that was a terrible decision. They just got super lucky by having Brock Purdy turn out to be halfway decent. I think as tough as it would be to accept that first-round loss, which it wouldn't even be a loss, JJ McCarthy would still have trade value, and he would still have value on the roster. But if Sam Darnold proves that he's a guy that figured something out and it's working with KOC and Darnold, you go with the hot hand. And if it's proven, Case Keenum, he was playing hero ball. It was fun. It was exciting. I mean, the Minneapolis Miracle itself was a lob up and let's see what happens. And holy crap, it worked. Keenum was hero ball. He was a gunslinger and it just worked and it was fun. Sam Bradford is methodical. He's playing quarterback. He's not playing OS ball. You know, it's like, it seems to be working. The right answer right now is I think we just all have to have an open mind and trust in Kwesi.
We need